Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional women. It's the current time of 8:13 a.m. on the Eastern Time on Thursday on June 2nd. Respect to Ethereum current trading at $1,831, up about close to 1% so far. Respect to over crypto market and the equity market, we are kind of levitating, kind of a mixed bag at the moment, trying to rebound on the futures perspective. As the oil prices and also with respect to the 10-year yields, sliding off a little bit from the, I guess the fluctuations that we've seen yesterday, mainly coming from the macro news coming out from a couple different factors, right? One is with respect to profit taking from basically the last 56 hours of buying pressure due to lack of media affectation, subsequently being counterbalanced by the Jamie Dimon interview that depicted his outlook on the economy going forward, that we should be expecting some sort of economical hurricane stem from the Fed's interest hikes, which we'll be expecting coming up in the next FOMC meeting and the subsequent FOMC meeting. And also with respect to just some stir around COVID situation, seems like it's kind of percolating again. Combined with lastly the foreshadow affectation on the job numbers that we'll be expecting coming up on basically tomorrow. And we'll see how the April number will come out and how that will basically paint even more clarified picture on what's the next tactical step that Jerome will be proceeding with going forward, right? So we should be expecting some anticipated pressure, some volatility, which is expected. But across the market so far, we are green across the board on the equity side, but not like prominently, just like up about 0.5% across the board, attempting to rebound or just normalize from the sell-off that we saw yesterday. Excuse me. Oh my god, what the hell just happened? I almost just choked right now. And some news I'm seeing across the spectrum right now is quite interesting. Seems like Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook is stepping down from obviously her position as a COO at Facebook. She's had a long illustrative career, so it's I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but obviously Facebook has been going through some transformative type of inflection so far with the shift of the name from Facebook to Meta, obviously, and obviously with the Web3 evolutions that we're currently in process of going forward. Maybe it might make sense to have a fresher eye, and maybe she could be pursuing some other initiatives that she'd be focusing on. But it's definitely weird to be seeing her departure during these time period. Especially as a COO, as an operator, they're trained and their job is to refine operations and make sure that it can stay within efficiencies and resiliency with respect to the internal corporate cadence. So it's interesting optically, but I'm not sure why that is. But I guess there's a reason. We'll find out soon or later. As the new person, I believe the chief commercial officer is going to be taking over as the COO interimly until they find a more of a long-term substantive replacement. And then I'm also seeing some numbers coming up from ADP, which is some payroll number, but the job number is coming out tomorrow again, right? So it seems like the private payroll increased just by 128,000 in May, which is the slowest growth of the recovery. And if you look into the numbers a little bit more, this is a preliminary number again, right? The private payroll by 128,000 in May, and the lowest gain of pandemic in the pandemic era recovery. And with respect to just like taking more of a specific snapshot, small business took the biggest hit during the month, as company employing fewer than 50 workers reduced payroll by 91,000. And then leisure and hospitality, the sector most hit the most, by restriction, which has been a leader throughout the recovery, saw new high just by 17,000. So it seems like the job recovery in a private payroll perspective for last month, again, right, this is a preliminary number because May just ended literally. Seems like there's some stagnation. Not sure what's happening, but we'll see more confirmatory signal as how the market will adjust and digest into this. So let's just dive into technical to see what's going on. Are we in a bullish trend? Are we in a reversal trend? Are we in still in the bear trend? Let's just take a look. So respect to recording time of 8:18 a.m. on the Eastern time. Ethereum at $1,830. We are in between levels again, right? You could see that we are slightly below the 1850, basically about $25 below it. So where's the next level down, right? Ideally at the 1700. So today rebound is not substantive at all. Obviously we're only up about like not even a percent so far, and at the same time the MACD line is already crossing about like to cross down, and with a 30 out of 70. You could see that clearly every single time you try to get above on the 45 out of 70, you get canceled out. So the likelihood of actually coming down to below 30 is more likely. And ideally bouncing from the 1700 would be more logical than actually continue to go up from there. Knowing the fact that the job numbers coming out tomorrow, FOMC meeting is coming out. So also if you look at this on a weekly perspective as well, it looks slightly different, and basically why this is basically capturing that what's logical to be happening next in the next subsequent weeks, and also on a monthly perspective as well, that on a weekly and monthly actually shows a different picture a little bit. It shows that there's a propensity to be rebounding post the FOMC meeting on the 14th and 15th, which I think it makes sense logically. I hope that we see some progression in the numbers coming out. I hope that the verbiage that Jerome will be laying it out for us around, during the mid of the summer, it's gonna be more rosy going forward, right? So if that will convey that message, obviously we will still have to sell down first to get to the 1700, and then recuperate back up to 1850, and then recuperate back up to ideally 2000 and 2150 from there. In respect to Bitcoin, is 30,000, up about 1% so far. We're in, again, right, same thing, right? We are over the line. We are also 45 out of 70, so ideally coming back down to 28,500 first will be more logical, and I think we need to do that before we cross back up again, right? Ethereum Classic up about 1%, $22, anywhere from basically, I would say $20 below is fair game to DCA from here, right? Dogecoin about 1%, anywhere from basically, I would say 7 cents down all the way to like the high 7s all the way to low 7s is a good frame to DCA. Cardano's up about 5% at 57 right now. 47 cents all the way down, like all the flat numbers, right? We're at basically 55 or 60 in between levels right now. Across the whole market's in between levels right now. So 60, 55, 50 respectively, all the flat numbers. I don't really suggest buying Cardano at the moment because, we are levitating firstly, and, you do have some sizable leap down if we actually fill this right here. And then Solana down about 10%. So it seems like there's something funky going on. And we're basically bouncing from exactly where we talked about, the 38 or 37.94. Not ideal. And I would say, would it be logical to be buying right now? I would say you still need to cross down and then cross back up first, right? So I think we try to do that, bouncing from there. But based on the current setup, I think it wouldn't be surprising to me if we actually crack below the current level and then start and go from like 35 and then come up from there. So definitely be careful on this one with respect to our current setup. But in terms of like how oversold we are already, based on what we've seen so far, we bounced from 27 out of 70 before as a resistance. So I think, yeah, breaking below to around 37, recuperate back up, allow for the MACD line to cross down, cross up, makes sense. XRP down about 5%, 40 cents at the moment. So similar in affectation. So I would say anywhere from like basically 35, 30 respectively below. Polkadot down about 9% so far. We clearly could not get above to the $11. So we're levitating between levels right now. We're consolidating at the 950 basically. I would say anywhere from basically 950 down is logical to DCA from here. Algorand down about 7% so far, 38 cents. Right now it's like still consolidating, but it's relatively stagnant, right? It's not really doing much, but if you want to really buy in, right, anywhere from 37 down, logical DCA from here. Shiba Inu about 2% in between levels, right? 1400 to 900, so again levitating again. So ideally buying as we get closer to 900 would be more logical than buying at the current level. Polygon up about 1.6%, that's 60 cents. All the flat numbers like 60, 55, 50 from here. And then lastly for AVAX up about 1.4%. I'll say anywhere from like $22 below would be logical. Right now it's like you still need to cross down and cross up, right, across the board. So yeah, that's what we really need to do. You need to cross down and then cross back up before you could actually sustain that bullish momentum. So right now it looks okay, but not the best, right? And again, the job numbers, like, it's kind of, sprinkling across some volatility into the market sentiment, all the way until the next week on 14 and 15. Well, not next week, 2 weeks out, basically. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, still relatively stagnant. Ultimately, we need the tactical next steps from Jerome Powell himself and the Feds to be in full alignment for us to have some, firm confidence for us to allow for the bull market to come back up again. Okay. So appreciate you. Have a good day, and I'll check you on the next one. Take care. Bye.